Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, this is not on the agenda, but we can go ahead and
I need it.
we can vote on this, letting high school cross-country program use the Big Diamond for parking as long as the weather allows it. I know Mark Woodcock will take care of that. And he will make a decision that will not do any damage to the park. Do I have a motion to go ahead and allow the school to do this?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Sure.
All in favor? All opposed?
Aye.
Okay.
I'll come back and coach baseball for us. No, I'm a baseball guy, and I've got probably 10% of my life on that baseball diamond, and it was Taj Mahal at one point. We got all torn up.
Yeah, who tore that out?
Okay, has everybody had a chance to read their minutes? Do I have any discussion on those? Now, this is for the budget workshop that we had on 7/23 and also on our regular meeting of 7/2. Do I have any?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to
I
accept.
have a motion to accept the minutes as is. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the next thing on the agenda is the presentation of bills, claims, and payroll. Everyone's had a chance to look at those. And I'm gonna put the presentation of the monthly financials for July and
It's
August.
actually
Group this all together.
Sorry, it's June and July.
June, July, I'm sorry,
I got ahead of myself.
June, July.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lump all this together and move it right along.
I just saw that. I'm like, oh,
Is there any discussion on our bills, payroll, and financial things? Then I would entertain a motion to accept these.
I'll make a motion.
All right, Ron motions. Do I have a second?
Sure.
Jamie seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
One more. Sorry, guys.
Whoa.
That's not hard.
Okay, is there any visitors who'd like to speak at this time? Diane?
We need to ask for appropriation from our tree budget to go into our general fund. We're going to be needing extra money to cover a few pockets. We still have got some outstanding bills, and just want to make sure we have enough money. We're not going to do any tree trimming this year, with Lord willing. And, so we'd like to move some of that money to help cover. We're going to have a basketball court put in. We are not paying for that, but we would like to put a pipe up or some kind of that recognition sign. We have roof repair done on our log cabin, so I'm not gotten the bill for that. We had an electrical issue, now we have a mower down, so I just.
So as far as,
That they can take it out of.
yeah, so, but I believe we have to do a resolution. So I didn't know if you guys were going to ask for that or not. So I don't have one prepared, but, and then we'd need to know the amount. Because then if you want to get a plaque, the plaque might be able to come from another line. But what she's wanting to do is move it from, I think the tree trimming was, like the contractual services, or professional services, and then to the capital projects. So, but we would have to do that at the next meeting, and we have to advertise. Well, it's not an additional appropriation, so she's not asking for more money. They just want to move from one line to another. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay.
Do I have a motion for that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
Yeah, second? Okay. Then we'll have that up and ready to go for the next meeting.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, JENILYNNE, is from here for area plan. She's got a couple things that she wants to talk to us about, so your turn.
Yes, thank you. So I am here on behalf of the Area Planning Commission for two zoning ordinance amendments. The first one is Amendment 883, referring to said petition to amend the White County, Indiana zoning control ordinance. Please be advised, this petition was properly advertised by the White County Area Planning Commission. This petition was heard in a public hearing on July 14th, 2025 by the Area Planning Commission. This petition was voted upon by the Area Planning Commission at that same meeting. The Area Planning Commission voted to recommend Amendment 883 to the legislative bodies by a vote of 8 in favor and 0 against. This amendment is a proposal to increase the maximum height allowance for development within the I-3 zoning district. As you are hopefully all aware, the I-3 zoning district is industrial park. The only parcels currently zoned I-3 are far west near I-65, US 24, the Mid-America Commerce Park. Therefore, it's in the county commissioner's territory. It's not within any incorporated municipality. So this revision would allow building heights to go from 55 feet to 110 feet, essentially doubling it in size. I would be happy to answer any questions should you have any for me. But yeah, it comes to you by a vote of 8-0.
Anybody have any questions for JENILYNNE on this? Then I need a motion to accept this, or
I'll make a motion.
are you asking? Okay.
Second.
Tony accept, or made the motion, Jamie seconded it. Okay.
I think it was from.
Is that it?
I have another one.
Okay, I thought so. Aye.
Are you gonna
Aye.
Listen, I can go get you a producer.
Hey, that's my protocol.
So the second one I'm here for is zoning ordinance amendment 884, referring to said petition to amend the White County, Indiana zoning control ordinance. Please be advised, this petition was properly advertised by the White County Area Planning Commission. This petition was heard in a public hearing on July 14th, 2025 by the Area Planning Commission. This petition was voted upon by the Area Planning Commission at that same meeting. Area Planning Commission voted to recommend Amendment 884 to the legislative bodies by a vote of 8 in favor, 0 against. The purpose of this amendment is a proposal to incorporate specific standards for mobile retail food establishments, aka food trucks.
These standards include not only the definition, but where the food trucks can be placed, the permitting process, and it identifies setbacks within property boundaries where they are placed. This does not apply to food trucks that are at town sanctioned events. You're going on food fest, they require the permits. This is basically if Sublets is at someone's property, they have to get a temporary permit from my office for that, as well as a health department permit, which hopefully they have to do.
Any questions on this? I have two here for the Amendment 83.
One's for you, one's for me.
Okay. All right, then I need a motion to accept.
Motion.
All right, Jamie made a motion to accept. I have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very much.
Good job. That's right. That's right. Ain't argue with the food trucks. My second favorite pastime.
You know what I forgot to do is look up the number. I'll just call you tomorrow with the number. I saw that today. And that's good. I'll have to call her with it, so, or I can send an email and send it to you both. Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Have a good night, guys.
You too.
Thank you. Okay. Gabrielle.
Good evening. Just some updates on the wastewater project. The working group, which again is the town, Commonwealth, Baker Tilly, which is a financial consultant, and the bond council, have been meeting bi-weekly to just review the whole project and then the path kind of moving forward for funding as well. So we are looking to work with the county for a low interest loan. So a meeting with the county commissioners has been scheduled for August 18th. So we will get to do that. So we are working with USDA and trying to include their representatives along in the bi-weekly meetings to keep them along with our process and make sure we can plan correctly and on schedule. And we are also working with Baker Tilly on a few value engineering components within the current design, just to make sure that the project stays within the budget expectations. So once that evaluation is complete, we'll schedule a meeting with the wastewater staff to review it, make sure everything looks okay, and then go into the bidding phase. So that's what's going on right now. Any questions?
Gabrielle, I do have a question. Since we got a permit from IDIM to close the ponds, I've been getting email after email from companies that close ponds. I assume that will be part of the project itself.
That would be part, yes. If you need to forward any of those to us,
Anything else for Gabrielle?
okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is sanitation bids. I think what we were looking at, Rebecca was gonna check and just see the legality of charging us so much money for one company to remove our totes if we didn't redo the contract with them.
So where we're at with this, so I reached out to Waste Management,
the person who we've been talking to about that, and he got it out of office. He was on vacation for a while, so I think he got back last week, and I haven't heard back from him this week. My thought was, I don't hear back from by the end of the week, I'll send out a reminder email to him and send a letter to him as well, saying, you know, and my response to him is not, is this, it's from him, it's like, we're not going to pay you this money. We will deliver them to you. Where do you want it delivered? And that's it. I mean, that's my approach with that money. If their estimate or their discussion about what they want to do is just absolutely powerful and doesn't make any sense. So I don't think we would hold up if they wanted to try to say they can charge them to do this. So that's where we're at with regard to that. So keep on being firm with them about it.
I know on points here, and you keep showing up, and we're glad you do. It looks like we're gonna have to wait till 1st of September. I would think we'll have something final waiting back from that.
That would work. No problem. We're here. We're hopefully excited to get started with you guys next year. So I'll be here in September.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Yeah, no problem. If you guys have any questions for us in the meantime, just feel free to give me a shout.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks
Thanks,
for
guys.
your time.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, community crossing grant.
Ken did email me and he hasn't got that quote together yet for the,
Street
yeah,
sidewalk.
he thinks he will maybe get it to me tomorrow, but
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. To fill everybody in, Roger and Annette and I met with Ken. Week before last, I think it was, and he went over the plot of the streets, doing the milling of the streets, repaving, doing sidewalks, putting a curbing on the streets, racing the arch would be 2, for example. The big difference would be the sidewalks would be 5 feet. Because that anytime they get involved with this, it becomes ADA. You have to stay within compliance with them. So that's kind of where we're at with him. We're just kind of waiting now back, and he'll get. I thought we'd have the numbers.
yeah,
Last week, but
right.
he
Yeah.
didn't have them. So
Nope, he says he has not quite finished the estimate. So
and it takes a lot of work, I'm sure, to get all that put together and see where we're at. But
right.
we're on it anyway. Okay, budget discussion.
I'm just trying to stay, where we are this year. I don't really want to raise it too much without knowing what the future holds right now. So, if you have any questions, there were a couple of lines. I went through it again, and one thing that I would like to ask is like kind of what our plan is next year. Are we going to try to hire somebody as the superintendent? Are we going to stay with the contractor? Does anybody know? Are we going to try? Because that for my budget, because then we would have someone who might have family insurance, or it could really make a big difference in the numbers that we have.
Right. My thought is right now, is not to hire someone, because we are saving money by not paying all the benefits out to another employee.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too sure coming down the road, maybe in November, let's see where Tracy's at as far as her testing, because I know she eventually going to go ahead and try to get the
Yes.
wastewater test license.
I would say there's a pretty good chance we could probably revamp that contract and do the water side ourselves. See
Mhm.
how things
Right.
go with Alliance and the paperwork. And we may be able to revamp that to where we only have the outside contract for wastewater as well.
Right.
That's where I was going.
That there might be a situation wanna look into somebody else besides Dustin too,
Mhm.
to save a little money.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. We can
It's-
discuss that, and the reason being where we're at with this whole project. I think consistency might ride an important horse in that race.
I
And
can
we've
tell
got this
you,
guy with us now.
every other place around here, his firm is got everything within his property. It's what-
He's in the middle of this finger painting right now, and I think change hats could cause some disruption. I don't want to jeopardize anything there or take that chance. Over a few bucks. I mean,
Well, there's some things in the contract I don't think we're getting
Right.
out of the
But
contract.
maybe if we just have a meeting
So we addressed it.
to discuss.
Right.
Right.
This
Well,
is
that's
the
what I'm
first-
saying. Like if we can,
that's what I agree, and that's what we got Rebecca for. You know, if he's not, if he's not fulfilling his obligation in any area, we need to notify him. It might be an oversight. He might not even be paying attention. Who knows? But I'm just kidding. I'm big on that consistency.
I understand, but I think we need to get what we're paying for.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If I know Roger's not doing his job, hey, look, you're gone, dude. You're not gonna talk to him?
I didn't say that.
About his performance. Yeah, you're talking about.
It's-
That is not what
No,
he's saying.
that's what you just said about the standards guy. That you wanna see about looking elsewhere.
no, he said he might.
Yeah, I said I might. I didn't say we would.
Yeah.
I said,
And that's what I'm saying.
I mean, if we're gonna get two bids on a dump truck, why can't we get two bids on this?
Because it's already established, right? Why would we wanna upset the apple cart? If the guy's not doing his contract, we need to address that right away. That's a problem.
And I think that can be part of what Roger's talking about, wastewater versus water. You know, if we renegotiate at that point, okay, we're gonna take this part away because we can do it. But the wastewater, I think it's important to stay with him. And I don't know, no pun intended, crap about wastewater, but you know, he does. And he's in that race with these guys, Commonwealth. That's my point,
And
guys.
everybody. And
But yes, I agree with you. It needs addressed.
I think we just need clarification on
what's he not doing?
some of the things. Well,
Well-
they say we have training, and I don't know that we're getting.
I don't think we're getting training like
Um,
you're supposed to.
Well, but it doesn't clarify what that is.
Yeah, it's so
It just
vague.
says training. That's why I said maybe we need
And
to just
he
have a
was supposed-
discussion.
As I understood, he was supposed to show up once a week personally. He hardly ever comes around.
I
And
don't
if he
know.
does, the workers are gone. And I can remember him saying he would help train our workers. You can't train over telephone.
Mhm.
Can't do it.
My concern, if I could just interject here, what was it, maybe a month or so ago? We had a letter from IDEM on a report that hadn't been
So-
submitted.
That was from 23 to 24. So that was actually the 24 report. I thought it was 25, but it was
It
24.
was 24, so who was that on? Was that,
Well, so we still had Dustin at the time,
okay, so that. was
but
on.
yeah, because I didn't get the
Or does
report.
those- Or does that, I was looking at that and I was trying to think if that falls, like 23 is due in 24.
Right, but that's what we submitted in 24. So he did do it for
He did
us.
do it.
Yeah.
And then we know he did get that, the consumer report, we got it on time. right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was posted.
So was that his? I just want to
Yeah,
know,
that's,
is he
that
submitted
was
from
the only
on time?
clarification I was, because I couldn't remember if it was 23 due at 24.
Yes.
If it would have fell under him.
Right.
or
But
if it was one.
he did it for us. So,
He did.
But did he do it on time?
oh no.
That's what I want.
Yeah. No.
Because if we're paying him to take care of this,
Mhm.
that's important. We've gotten enough letters from IDEM. We
Right.
don't need any more. And we're
We-
paying that kind of money.
You remember the name of it. We actually have access to state site
The
now,
Indiana water
that
viewer.
we know when those are due and what's due and stuff.
But
So-
that's still on him to
Yeah.
do.
And that's something that, I've told Tracy now that you got access to that, I want you to stay on top of that, make sure that's getting done.
Can she submit
And
those
stuff.
reports out? No,
We're
that's still back to Dustin.
not on the wastewater.
Okay.
What we're trying to get her to is, and I've got her working with Chad Reynolds from Alliance. I talked to him last week and stuff. Get her up to speed on the paperwork. We can start doing, I think
I
By the
understand.
end
My
of the
point,
year.
Roger, is if the report needs to be put in,
it needs to be done.
it needs to be done on time.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't care if Tracy wants to watch or do whatever, but it's not gonna come back on Tracy if she's not responsible for submitting that
Right.
report.
Well, and that's why, to this point, no, but
At a time, yeah.
she's our inside person that, hey, you look at this as part of
Yes.
your job every day. Tell us where we need to be, and then if we need to be making a phone call, hey, where are you at on this report? It's due by this, and we don't.
Why do we have to babysit for the money we're paying? That's my question. That's his job, correct?
I think the only reason we want to babysit it is we want to make sure it's done.
Well, yeah, that's why we're hiring him.
Yeah.
At almost $5,000 a month.
I think if Rebecca rings his bell,
Well, I'm just like,
I agree
I'm
with
tired
you.
of those letters.
100%.
Listen,
Once you get on the letter
And
list
he
for
just
it,
started with this.
I know, but IDEM goes all the way back.
Well, I know, but I
We
mean,
mow
you
to
would
get
think
to
that
the
you're
minnow time.
first with somebody new,
I
that you're gonna do your best to
100%
do 100% for that company you're working.
for that kind of money.
Yes.
And even if it wasn't that kind of money, I totally agree.
I
But-
would still do my best.
But I think our job is to supervise that, and if it's not being done, we have Rebecca contact him and say, here it is, come on, get on this. I agree.
Okay, I mean, I agree, but I'm still saying, I don't think we should have to do that. for them.
Roger should contact you first, right? I mean,
Internally,
internally, and if it doesn't work, we get it because, but as far as IDEM's concerned, we'll never be out of IDEM's eyes. I mean,
We're,
No, I understand it. This is a report that he's
Yeah.
supposed to do,
I-
Jamie.
I know, but I hire the water done. The
I-
water,
I don't care about Talbot.
it's the same thing, okay? I have it set up, just like Roger said. I can see the dates that I'm supposed to turn these reports in, okay? And it's still
But you
Talbot's.
do
I do not do them. I
Who
hire it
does,
done.
okay, so when he doesn't get them on time, do you jump him?
Yes, I do.
And what happens when you jump?
It get, actually, the
We've
person,
asked, I mean, I
the
know
person that's doing them is doing a great job. I mean, getting them done. So I
you
don't have to,
Okay.
but it does come up 2 weeks and 3 weeks prior to it being needed to be done. I'm like, hey, and it's like, hey, I already sent it in.
I do know on one instance,
Right.
she said, hey, got it, you tell. you-
Well,
you got-
so there was it was the DNR report, the significant water withdrawal. So I had started keeping track of everything that was coming due and keeping it in my calendar and emailing the documents to him and to Tracy and to Greg. So they have them, so they know what's coming up. And so I had in my calendar that this was coming due. So I emailed him to inquire and never did hear anything back about this DNR report. And then later on, when I talked to Roger, I said, hey, next time you talk to Dustin, can you ask him about this report? And Roger says, oh, the DNR report? Well, he doesn't do that. So that he doesn't have to. That's not part of his thing. So I did email him again and just say, hey, in the future, can you just let me know? Because I don't know what I don't know, but I don't normally ever get a response.
I will agree, he's been a little harder this year to get a hold of.
Right.
Than in the past. But, and I think that's why we need to, I can tell you, I've been there twice, the 2 times that, I didn't been in there. I'm happy with the relationship we have between them. They definitely see the improvements. I expect the gal, it's a total different group that comes in and inspects the water plant. I expect her anytime we have to have a conversation over the phone. I think she'll be impressed with our water plant from where it was to where it's at. So hopefully we can keep mapping all of that. But I think the more we get Tracy involved, the more paperwork she learns, then the better chance we've got at the end of this contract of taking back our water, making our stuff.
Water or sewage?
Water.
Cause it's it's a full-time job if we do it right. It really is. And she's doing that, she's doing,
Well, we're gonna have a conversation this week, just so the board knows. A lot of the things, like the reading of the water meters, the picking up the brush and stuff like that, the two guys can go do that. That way she can concentrate more on the water plant and the sewage plant. And that's the goal, to move her into that. So that takes some of the day-to-day stuff off of it.
So while we're talking about Tracy, yeah. So her during the workshop, we discussed that she should probably been moved to the wastewater treatment plant operator with one certification. So
The non-certified, we made a mistake in the terminology of the salary ordinance. She's a non-certified operator with one certification. So we put her in the wrong category.
because we put her in labor with one, yeah, that's what we put her in with one cert. When technically we decided the last time to give her the lead position, we decided to pay her the wastewater treatment plant operator pay with no cert. So if you guys would agree, or if you want to take a vote on if you think that we should go ahead and bump her to the wastewater treatment plant operator, and I would like to make that pay retroactive, if you agree. So to July 3rd.
I think that's what we need to do, because we went backwards instead of
We
forward.
did.
Well, it did go up a little bit. It went to
But not
22.52.
where it
It was 21.78. Yeah, and then now this would be 23.
And I think we owe that to her, because she was just under operator, and that she should be under operator one certificate. We moved her labor.
Right.
With one certificate.
if we made that error, it has to be fixed.
Yeah, it's our mistake.
I make a motion to do that.
I'll second.
All right.
Did
I
you
got
get
2 seconds.
No, you did.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so I'll make that retroactive then. I
Right.
think it was it's about $300. So, yep,
So she's gonna be sewage plant operator one cert,
yes,
Yeah,
Right.
Non-certified, yeah.
One certified.
one cert.
yes, yep. Does anybody have any questions on anything else in the budget right now? We're not voting on this. I just kind of wanted your guys' feedback to know.
We come in.
What you think, or if you
15 minutes
thought-
early to the next meeting, correct?
Yes, yeah,
And
that's the plan.
And for the police side and the street side, Annette has the evaluation.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys wanted me to share those or what I was to do with those.
I would assume,
One, two,
Sure.
you get, is that what you're
yeah,
saying?
one second.
I don't know if we've ever-
No, I did ask Stacy and she said she hadn't shared them before, but
I'd be
whatever.
curious.
Whatever you guys want.
They don't matter to me.
I'd love to see them.
Pretty simple, pretty generic.
Yeah.
Couple pros, couple cons.
Yep. I didn't really see anything in there that would change
No.
anybody's pay.
No.
Yep. The MVH, we don't have the amount yet, so I haven't worked that in there yet for the lease payment. There was $7,500 in the general fund for sidewalks, and I took that out because we have the sidewalk money. Wasn't sure why that was in there. And then I tried to move more of the, like machinery and equipment to our edit fund and keep that out of our general budget. Health insurance, I figured right now we're okay in there. I did raise it just a little bit, but our package and cybersecurity and the workman's comp, last year we had a really big increase. So I'm hoping it doesn't increase more than 15%. That's kind of what I based it on. So, yeah. Most people are saying 15%, but last year we had more than that.
Annette, have we received any money from the township this
No.
year for fire?
No.
And the reason I bring that up, it's gonna come up down the road. I think a year ago, we gave our EMTs a raise. I would like to see our firemen get bumped up. $10 is the law that you can only pay if they're dispatched out.
Like I said, I don't know that because what we get is what Sean gives us. I don't know.
Do you know that?
I think that was all, I mean,
Anytime you get in the fire truck, you should be getting paid.
listen, we're a volunteer fire department. I think way back when they were typing up on typewriters was the contract that I seen. It was always the $5, right? But I don't know of any law that says you can't give more, right?
What I'm saying is, does it have to come through dispatch?
No,
I think it's more of a tracking issue, and I think pretty well everything that is done is through dispatch, whether it's EMS side.
I think what Kenny's talking about is the fire up there at the meat department. Sean contacted a bunch of if we have an officer that contacts a bunch of guys to tell them to come out, I can go up there and page. I've got it set up there to page out the fire department. I can page it out like it used to a long time ago. Soon as we go en route to wherever, we're on the radio telling them that. So there's your documentation that Roger's talking about.
And then when they do their spreadsheet, I mean, like you take an incident like that, when it's over, then they sit down and say, okay, he was here, he was here, he was here, then it goes on the spreadsheet. But the original fire is dispatched on. So I think everyone's getting paid for everything.
Yeah, but Sean raised the question to you the other night, didn't he?
He went there. He went to the meat packing twice, I think.
So
because it had rekindled.
So with that, there was a clause a long time ago, and it was if we were dispatched to any fire, township, wherever it was, that if we had a rekindle, the rekindle wasn't, you didn't get your $5 for the rekindle.
Now, see, that's where I think you should.
Yeah, I mean,
Anytime you're not taking the fire truck out for a joyride, right?
no, and listen, you just a fire like that, it's going to take a long time to get out.
Well,
Right, but that's the way it's always been.
yeah, well,
Okay, is it the right way? I don't know. Probably not.
I was talking to Kyle too, and he said some volunteers don't even get paid. I said, I don't care about anybody else. I just care about us. I know right now you're getting $10 a call.
Yeah.
If we can afford it, and I'm going to throw this out, I'd like to see that bumped to at least 30. Because you figure a minute. Yeah, really.
You know how long they were up here?
Yes, I do.
And they
then
made
got up and
less
went
than
to work
50
the
cents
next
an hour, less than $1 an hour.
They went to work the next day.
I understand that, Ken. That
Well,
was an exception to the rule usually, but,
But-
you know, I'm not saying they're don't deserve it, okay?
anytime they go out, you haven't been recognized. Anytime they go out, it's a minimum of 2 hours. By the time you leave, I don't care if it's just going out to a grass fire, you gotta still come back, clean hoses, clean things up, get the trucks all cleaned back up. You're gonna spend at least 2 hours.
It
That's $15 an hour. Right there. You can go flip burgers for $15 an hour. Now, we're gonna ask our local men to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, risk their life, possibly at a fire for $15 an hour. That means I think $30 is not very much.
I'm not doing it.
I just think they're underpaid.
You're not doing it for 30?
No, I wouldn't do it for 30.
Yeah.
And they're doing it for 10, and they worked up here that night. That's maybe once in a blue moon fire or something like that in our little town. But it's still dangerous anytime you go to a fire.
They do a whole lot more than
Yes.
put out fires too. I mean,
That's right.
it's not just the disruption of the family. You know, you talk about them coming home cleaning up, putting hoses up. They also have to go home and clean up.
That's right. They got to
You know,
clean
they got
themselves.
blood up to their knees, and you know, I mean,
And
it's a lot. I appreciate those guys more than I could afford to pay.
right. And we're not talking this going from maybe 8 to 4 during the workday. A lot of times they're called out 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, they still get up and got to go to work the next morning too. And I just don't, I don't think we have kept up with the times of paying our fire department.
100%.
And if we can work this out, because I was kind of thinking, if we got 20 firemen and they go, how many calls do you think they go out on the average a month, Jamie? 2, 3? Would it be 30 a year? Would they go out 30 a year?
So I kept track of that for multiple years. And when we were in our heyday, I'm talking heyday, we did over 300 calls annually. And fire calls, it was probably 60.
60? All right. You're not going to get 20 guys go on 60 calls. Let's say you do get 60 calls. Let's say you average 15. That's what? 900? 900 times 30 is what? 27,000? Doesn't the township have to pay half of that? Yeah. So I mean, we're not talking.
Save one garage.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not even talking about garages. I mean, come on. What about your family?
Yeah.
Okay. When I say 60 calls, there's probably 15 fires, the rest are car accidents.
Yeah.
You know,
but those can be hazardous.
those are the most dangerous,
Yeah.
especially with the cars that we have these days, whether it's the electric cars or, whatever's in their bumpers these days. And it's different. And, it affects, the communities around us, whether they're coming through or not, or, the people in the communities. I mean, we've helped a lot of people.
I'm not saying that it has to be written in stone. I'm just throwing the $30 out there for something that if we can afford to go to that route, that's what I'd like to see. But $10 to me, they can hardly drive to town and back.
I would say with the way you guys kept records, you could do 3 years real quick to get an average. Couldn't you? From the sheets I've seen and what you guys did.
I say I might even have access to those, depending on how long that spreadsheet has. Yeah.
That's correct.
Yes, right. So the contract with the township, we can decide whatever rate we want to do.
But
So that's not his decision.
But
But his decision is how much he's giving us. So
that would have to
Well, it doesn't have to.
Doesn't
I'm
have
gonna
He
to.
wouldn't have
He
to.
wouldn't have
Doesn't
to.
have
See, that's-
He wouldn't
that's all
have
he
to,
can do,
well.
but that's up to him.
That's up to him. I mean, there's money in the account. We all know that. I don't think that's much to have for farming. Because I think since I've been on the board, I think the fire department's just kept getting better and better and better and working with older stuff.
That's the other thing we have to keep in mind, though, is that they also want a fire station to be
Right.
built. And
That's different stuff.
I know, but
That's different.
You're not going to get people to join this if you're not going to put some money out.
right.
You're not going to get volunteers.
So are you
And
gonna
I'm
make a
not saying I
motion,
don't think
or-
that they should.
Well, I'm not going to make.
No,
it
I
tonight.
wanted to, yeah.
Yeah.
fire department, so I want to confirm what we can do for sure, but.
I was
I'll
just
have that
asking.
next time. Yeah. I'll have that next time.
So what conversation do we have with the township
They
to
just,
let him know we're wanting to do that? I mean, do you take it to them? Do you have your meeting?
We haven't had a meeting yet this year.
So how do we,
I would
Well,
sit-
we have to renew our contract, so after the end of the year. And if
Sean,
we make that determination.
I think Sean's got a pretty good relationship with him. Jamie does.
I was told this the last time, but I actually forgot, but, so I just asked him about being, paying, and he says, one, they have to have a board meeting to approve it. He would approve it, but they're, somebody would tell him, or you have a budget meeting coming up. No, wrong one, sorry. He could write a check now, but somebody would say something. A budget meeting coming up, the state mandatory, but doesn't mean anything. You have to have a minimum with one board member or less present. He had a January board meeting scheduled and no one showed up. So I don't know. I'm just telling you what I've been told. But
so what's he saying? Is he saying he
He
would
would
be
be
willing
in
to?
favor of it.
I didn't ask him about the money.
Oh. I thought-
He was
I'll do-
asking
I'm
about
gonna
the
do that.
payment.
I'll do that.
Oh, you were asking about the meeting. Oh.
Yeah. And, I mean, we don't, that doesn't have to be a decision made tonight, but I just want to throw that out there so she can kind of look at the budget. Can we,
That's going to be on you three, because I know there's two of us here that
you can vote on it. I understand that. But I still like your input on it.
I can present facts and data. That's all I can do.
And
I support you on that.
I'm not
There's
saying I
a
don't
lot of
support you.
places that we need to
we need
to catch up with the world. We do. And that's a big,
they're just not, they're not getting enough.
I was on the fire department 100 years ago and I think it was $5.
And they're making-
And the first fire I went to, I'm up on a ladder at the old hotel down there. They set me up and said, "Here, you're young and strong, take this hose." I go up to the top, I open up that thing, and Jim Buckley comes up behind me, was punching.
Oh, yeah, he would.
And I didn't know why. Well, when I shut the hose down, the ladder that was about 3 feet away from the building because of the force, I went back and landed on that window. And, you know, you just don't know what those guys put on the line. Now, better training now, but $5 wasn't worth that fall. I had
No.
5 people, you know, or 6 that I was beating.
Well, and I can tell you, and when you have one of the magnitude that we just had, there's even a lot of stuff goes on behind the scene. I know of 4 people who went and got drinks, food,
Yeah.
and everything else. I know what one person's been. Myself, Liberty Township did come and provide food and water, of course. And Honey Creek, we had 4 groups there.
Well, you have to, 100 firemen.
I mean, we cleaned Subway out and Rensselaer and Monticello. Yeah.
Okay, that's just some food for thought that I had. And as we get into this a little further, I'll talk to Sean, I'll see Sean, and I'll tell you what I've kind of put out there. I'd like to be able to do more, but I don't know if we can. I don't know if we can do that much.
Right.
But let's get as close to that as we can, if at all possible.
Okay. All right. Was everybody okay with the way I had the money split up for the tax levy? Anybody have any?
Good.
Okay.
Why we hired you.
Yep.
Okay, Roger.
Brains beauty.
From the police
Yeah.
side,
Bro.
we were chugging along. We had a lot of vehicle maintenance in the hot weather. We ended up, before we've done it over with, we had to change every foil back in Jake's squash car. So we did rack up some expense spends money there on repairs. Mine, luckily, so far, is just the one quote back that we've had to change. We got Jake scheduled. We have an outside trainer coming in. It's going to be hosted at the sheriff's department. A 3-day interview, interrogation class at the White County Sheriff's Department. So he'll be there. And Annette, I can't remember, did I send you a thing about ordering me a scanner with USB port?
Yeah, and I
Okay.
responded. I said, "Did you send this to the right person? Because it came from your North White email."
I don't know what keeps going on.
So I was
with my
like, maybe
phone.
he was
No, it's
sending it to someone else and
Yeah,
not me.
no.
And then I never got a response, so I
yeah,
haven't
so,
ordered it.
well, evidently I missed that thing, but no.
Okay.
I noticed today it keeps switching back and forth.
So that's for the police department, right?
Yeah, because my, that's what we use for tickets and mine is down
Okay.
and stuff, so. I figured it's cheaper, it's the same scanner from Amazon as it is. If I call an outfit in Indianapolis, it's half the price.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that's what we got going on the police side. We're working on projects. I do have an email out to a corporation in adjoining county that Buzz, the street superintendent up at Francisville, turned me on to. There's a company up there due to what they do. They come in and they paint the handicap spots and the parking spaces free of charge. So I've got an email out to the gal that's in charge of that to see if they'll come to the neighboring county and do that. Hopefully so. We started this week on Mondays alone. We will still do the brush pickup, but we're doing the yard waste separate. And I've put a notice out. You got 2 options. One, you can get a plastic container with a lid, not to exceed 40 pounds. Put your yard waste in there. We'll pick it up, dump it in the truck. Or you put it in a nice little pile and we'll scoop it up, throw it in the truck. And then we're not debagging those plastic bags at the dump. I did it myself Tuesday. I did the whole town by myself in 2 hours. So it's not that big a deal. And then we'll continue brush on Mondays and Fridays unless we get a storm. We'll pick that. But it's kind of weird that the guys were telling me getting more brush on Friday instead of Mondays. I would have figured the opposite, everybody cutting over the weekend. So if they cut on the weekend, right? Or one bag. It's stupid to cut it out of a plastic bag. You pick the bags up and then you take it and you dump it. And then the other thing, it was like there was a couple bags this week, and what I did, cut one open, there was some building material in it. So at least this way you know you're not.
The biggest reason I do it is because there's some language stuff, and I used to see.
You know what?
We picking it up.
We have gloves and we have pitchforks and we have shovels. So.
Well, if I ever put it out there, I'll let Tracy know what it is, so
Yeah.
it should be prepared.
On that subject, so I noticed today when I was looking at the garbage ordinance that it says in there that we don't pick up grass clippings or I forget
A
what it was,
lot.
leaves or something. It was some, and I was like, what? Yeah. Yeah.
That's in for the garbage and for the actual trash.
That's
So-
okay. Okay. I'm like, why does it say that? Okay.
I had to have a conversation because they were taking the bags with yard waste and throwing it in the dumpster. You can't send it to the land.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's why that.
But I was like, that
That's
seems
why
really
it's-
strange.
But there, you know, when it comes down to this is, like I know there's a lot of towns that are doing away with grass. They're just not picking it up. It's your problem. You do the compost. The other part is, I look at that. If we do that, then we're going to have piles of dead grass every place in people's yards. So if you've got a couple hours a week that you're picking grass and stuff up, throw it up.
It's positive for the community.
It is. I just think it's more positive than it is. So, yeah. So that's some of the stuff we're working on. I do have Cody and Honor going to Woket from the Alliance class. One of the big things on that is hydrant maintenance, because I know for a fact over the years, we go out in the spring, we go out in the fall, we flush the hydrants, we don't grease them, we don't oil them, we don't do any of that. So I told them to pay particular attention to the hydrant maintenance, which we still have the one at Vanguard's aftermarket to do. Unfortunately, we've had another hydrant go down, and it's one inside the Vanguard's plant down here that we were trying to get parts to raise it anyway because it sets really low. You can barely get a hose on it, but it's too obsolete. So we're going to end up having to order another hydrant up to 2 that we need to finish. I did meet, I started one way with EJP after our fire here. I think when we put a strain on the system like we did, if we have other options, better off. Vanguard was very nice in letting us in there to suck out. One of the things we put in there is an option of a dry hydrant. What I was thinking, and there was only a couple of months that we lose, you can do a schedule 40, and it's like what they call a dry hydrant for a bridge. It would be on their catwalk, and you just flip it down in the water. You would only lose it when the ice is on. After meeting with them this week, I think we're going to go another route is with that catwalk there, we're going to probably use Schedule 8 steel. So I'm going to price that out, and then we'll be able to use that year around. It'd be a 6-inch, and then it would have a coupler that would couple straight into that suction on the engine. And my understanding, the engine could actually run 3 hoses off of it and fill 3 tankers at one time, because you can't run maximum pumping on it because you guys can pump 1,000 gallons per minute. You can't fill a tanker without blowing it at 1,000 gallons.
Why would they use steel? Why would we want that? Why wouldn't we do a galvanized or a?
The steel is because you would need there is, I think, 2 21-foot sections of 6-inch steel, 90 degrees. You're going to go down about 14 feet, which will put you down about 5 feet below the water level right now. And then you have the coupler, and then they use that. That's what they've got in theirs, and they run a pump, and they pump all winter out of there, even when ice is on. Because once you're not using it, it'll just go down to level. The only chance you might have a freeze right in the ice. At least they've not had a problem with that.
No rust or anything?
The water pipe like that is lined on the inside, so you don't.
So it's a steel water pipe.
It's a water pipe. It's not a regular steel pipe. Yeah. And then you wouldn't have to worry about the ice against it and stuff. So I think that's an option. Vanguard's open to it. If you talk to Jacob, that might be. I'll get it priced out.
Maybe Vanguard will pay for it.
Yeah. I kind of look at it this way: it's a two-way benefit to both. But if we have access to that, that to me is their contribution. That's an endless supply of water. So
Let's give them the option to pay if they
Yeah.
like to.
It's
It's not no yet.
Yeah. No, and I'm sure because the 2 I've met with, I don't think had that. But the one I call on, I think they probably do it. Yeah. Good. So, other than that, our truck, because of the timing and everything, it's actually going to be at 26 instead of 25. So, never got a production date yet, but it should be coming fast. So now they shut the line down like you guys know for so long, doing the switch over. So it should be coming pretty quick.
Increase would be
Jonathan didn't seem to think it was going to be.
wow, good. Surprise.
Still made the US.
Exactly. Amen.
Do you have a date yet for the streets to be completed?
No, Scott has not called me this week. hopefully will be on the August schedule. I
Okay.
know they're swamped, grinding to go to Vanguard again,
Mhm.
get rid of that. So that cuts down the cost of the trucking for that. And we don't have a plan to do it.
Annette?
I'm just gonna let you guys know, we did get, well, the park received, in addition to the donation they got from Rose Acres at the basketball court, they also got a donation of $1,000 towards their pickleball court from the White County Community Foundation. So, Jim Annis had recommended them for that, and so they did receive that. You guys had asked me last time about the clinic, if volunteer firefighters can enroll. I did ask her, and she said yes, that they can. It's $68 per month for up to 25 employees, and then after that, it turns into a percentage type thing. So they could enroll. They wouldn't have anything against that, but all the payments have to come from one entity. So it all have to come from us. And I, you know, what you guys, if you were actually thinking about that, or if you just, I don't know how many that would be, but you guys wanted to
Are
extend
the
that.
firemen interested in something like that? Have they talked about it?
Yeah.
I didn't know if they knew that was an option.
Well, we just,
If they're
I mean,
interested.
yeah, she said it would be an option, but then my question is, who's going to pay for that? Is that going to come from the town? Right now, the town pays for all employees. So, yeah,
But they're not firemen, aren't employees?
No. nope. But that's a monthly. It's paid monthly. So, yeah. I did attend one of the housing meetings just this past week. Really don't know much about it. I know Jim was there also. They said that our score, they've submitted the applications. The score will be available in November. So we're going to have another meeting in December just to discuss and see where they're at. I know they talked a lot about the Larry Brown property. And then they did send some pictures yesterday of kind of the duplexes that Jim had mentioned that he would be interested, that he liked, that he thought would be good. And I can send those to you guys if you want to see what those look like. I will. I'll send them. Yeah, I don't need to ask. I'll just send them. But anyway, so I'll send those on to you guys so you can kind of see what it is that they're thinking about. I don't know where it's going to go. Randy did say, the economic development said that they still had $340,000 available in the ready funds, that he is going to try to apply to get that so that it could be used for Reynolds and Monon, the project. I think they said it was going to be 32 units.
We'd have 24, and Reynolds would have 24
Okay.
units.
Yeah.
So it'd be 12 duplexes, basically, is what it would be, 24.
Okay.
We
They were-
went to ones that I really liked over Delphi at Water Tower, and we're really impressed with them. Just a little bit more on what they would be. It's not if, it would be Larry's property.
Okay.
That's where the research work is being done. And probably be somewhere between 5 and 7 acres, depending on what we do, with the potential to expand to more units in there. It's income based, it's workforce housing. So don't let anybody blow smoke that it's poor people moving in there. It'll be trash. That ain't gonna be the case. And you can attest to the one that we saw, the one that Annette's talking about that they sent us pictures is Snowy Owl in Lafayette, that they're gonna have an open house.
Oh, yeah, those are nice.
Yeah, that's the same company that we're dealing with, the Keller Development.
Yeah.
And it's through Area 4, Elva James from Area 4 has been responsible for all of these projects that they've been working on. The multiple apartment in Delphi, actually they have 2 apartment buildings, high-rise apartment buildings, in addition to water tower apartments, and they're fabulous. They will build them as you want them to be built. These that we're talking about will have a garage as well. The ones at Delphi did not, but the garage is in the plans for these. I think Snowy Owl, the rent there, again, it's income based, is somewhere between $400 and $800 and something dollars. And it's based on your income at time of application. So if for some reason you get a big pay boost, your rent does not change. It stays the same. So there's that incentive to work harder, to get a better job, but still have that location. And there'll be a community building also. And in our conversation yesterday about potential, obviously working with the clinic, with their fitness center, the school and their fitness center. I know Bear runs the after school, what is it? Boys and Girls Club.
Oh, yes.
Actually, Boys and Girls Club runs Boys and Girls Club, but Bear runs the education program there. There's a lot of ways that we can work with the surrounding area. And quite frankly, I met with Reynolds yesterday as well. But quite frankly, we have the best opportunity, I think, of being able to get these units in. Again, as Annette said, I think our point score was 101. You'd like to have it a little higher, but 100's not bad. And that comes out in November sometime to determine whether or not we qualify. If we don't, then we kick it off another year. And we keep going with the same plan just in the following year. We'd like to get it done sooner than later, but money talks, and that's what the thing is. We do, and I've met with Larry numerous times. He is interested in doing it. He'd love to see a development out there. He just didn't want to do it himself. I said, okay, fine. We'll find a way to get it done. I don't think 7 acres is going to be much of an impact on that ground he's got in well over 100 there. But potential for expansion, and I like the fact that that driveway that goes into the clinic would take us into potentially the properties that would be out there, so that would save us a little bit there. And then, of course, we talked about the sidewalks going out to the clinic as well, being in the future for the town to put in. So all of those things that I brought up to them were bonuses. Some of them they weren't aware of, and so forth, going forward for us in Mona. Now, Reynolds has some issues. It's personality. I don't know why that plays a role in it, but they have some issues. You didn't tell me about this. No, we didn't know anything about this. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. I told them, I don't care. We'll take 48. I went into this with both communities, got them both involved in it, because it's us. Reynolds, Mona, and Buffalo, we're all the same. And so I went into it with them wanting to do that, finding properties and so forth. The township owns that ground around the school, and that's where it would be there. I think they'll work it out. There'd be no reason not to. It's just absolutely stupid not to take an opportunity like this, especially with, as I've been preaching all along, the potential down the road for expansion of industrial projects, other projects in our community. We got to have a place to put them. I don't want them living in Monticello. They're the ones that have crapped on us to begin with. Pardon me. Again, I don't care. I don't care anymore. But if they don't want to do things that are there laid out for them, I want Monon, I want Reynolds to take advantage of it. And it may be a couple years, but it's things that, as you well know, it's taken us 3 million years to get a wastewater treatment plant. We've been in the Flintstone days for so long, and now this stuff is going to happen. The other things are the byproduct of that, the additional housing and so forth. And I've not met with our superintendent, but I am hoping to get him on board with JENILYNNE's area plan people who are anti-everything, that we can promote some of those projects so that, you know, we can get people who are making $100 an hour to live in Monon because they've got a place to live and it's nice. You know, if we put up $350,000 building trades homes, I'll be really happy to be able to do that with those 9 properties that are there. And if we can bring in people that want to live in those kind of homes, or even these duplexes, which are really nice, you know, that's what we want to be able to do. And this is all a part of it. And I'm a pretty optimistic person, and I think we have a great opportunity to do this. If not this round, surely in the next round. But all of you guys have got to be on board with all the things that are approaching us so that we can progress and not be like some of the other communities that still want to drive the horse and buggy and do all that other kind of stuff. You know, that was fine for today. But we've got, somebody said we got to catch up. You said that. We got to catch up. And it's in every aspect of what our community is to move it forward in the future, to make it viable. And I know based on the statistics I've looked at, there's a lot more old people like me in this county than there needs to be. We need youth. We need youth. We need people to stay. We need our kids to stay. The technology that is potentially coming. We need our kids in the schools to be pursuing that, going to Purdue. Sorry.
That's okay.
But taking those classes that will keep them at home at high-paying jobs and providing those high-paying jobs. So,
On top of what, I'll just.
Is that a motion?
yeah.
I'll just add to what Jim's saying. I sent out an email to everybody last week. There was a meeting Friday night at Reynolds School. Ray Anderson's gonna run it. And
That's not a meeting.
It's a public, town hall meeting, he called it,
Okay.
okay?
You call it whatever you want it to.
Well, it's
I
gonna
call it a
be,
predetermined sale
exactly,
of what we want and you don't need. That's exactly what it's going to be.
it's gonna
I
be,
welcome everybody to go there.
I plan on going because I know I sat through the area plan meeting a couple weeks ago. Sat there for 2.5 hours, we tabled. These damn people cannot make a decision to rezone something. They got it in their head that this is gonna be bad, so we're not gonna rezone it. That's what it's gonna be Friday night, I'm sure.
Well,
It's gonna be all the negative people.
it is. And I've been
We
to all those
need-
meetings. And
We
listened.
need, if you wanna see White County grow, we've gotta get the vocal people that's in favor of these things to go to these meetings. Because I know who's gonna be, you do too.
Yeah, I know exactly who's going to be in the meeting, and I'd probably get shot before I enter the door.
Yeah, well, they
But
might too, but we gotta start somewhere and say, hey, where's your facts? You're just blowing smoke out here and telling everybody how bad everything is. You have nothing to back it up with. They just try to ram it. They don't want to change. You're right.
no,
They do not want to change.
they manufacture their own facts with nothing behind it. I've gone through this for 4 years, dealing with the same people over and over and over again. And,
We're gonna turn around Monday night.
I did have one of the commissioners apologize to me the other day about him being wrong and I being right about most of the things that I had told you. That was a start. And that same commissioner made the presentation for the group that 3 months ago, he would have never even thought of.
You're right.
But at some point, you have to be like he was and finally get it through your head what people are telling you about the positive nature of the things that are out there for you, because we don't get them somebody is, I promise you. You know,
Southern Illinois is just waiting
yeah, I mean,
for
they're-
Indiana to turn this stuff down.
They're-
They'll take everything they can get.
yeah, and the reality is, you know, it is a money thing. The companies that do this are gonna make money. But if you put, and I've told you this before, but I'm gonna repeat myself, just to make sure. Our assessed value of White County is $3.5 billion. These companies will invest more than that individually within the county. And I've heard that one is in excess of $4 billion now. So you double the assessed value of the county. What does that do for your taxes? I mean, people in Buffalo know what the landfill's done for their taxes. They don't pay any. They don't pay any taxes over there. You know, so just that simple fact. Yeah, there are some other things that you have to deal with. Water's obviously a concern. The electricity is a concern, but we've, you know, and that's not me, but some of the guys before me had the foresight to say that because there are two main electrical grids that run through White County, let's get a piece of that. Let's be a part of that. And so that's where the windmill started. And then when I became involved, the solar farms came in and all those kinds of things. Those set up those opportunities. This is not just all of a sudden these people want to come in for this. It's because of everything that this county has done up to this point. Absolutely. We can stop it right now. Between now and 2040, we'll still be taking in almost $200 million from those projects that we had been able to bring into the county. Then in 2040, what are you going to do if you're not doing anything? All of that money runs out. And I can tell you, and I'm sorry if I repeat myself, but this really fires me up. Nobody can tell that, right? The highway garage, the coroner's office, the recycling center, and all that, not 1 cent came out of your pocket. Not 1 cent. That all came from either landfill money or other monies from those projects that the commissioners, past and present, have done. When all that stuff goes away, where's that money going to come from? From any projects that the county wants to do. I'm glad that most of them are done. I got the last one was the recycling center. The only thing left was the jail. That was on my list of things to do, but again, you know the problem. So we have to, as Ken says, we've got to approach. When you talk to people, you talk about what this town can be, what can happen here, and how we want to progress. We're not going blind into this. We know what we have to deal with, and we want to make sure. And these companies, you know, I don't think we've benefited near as much as what we should have from. I know there's a number of windmills that are in the North White School District and so forth. And EDP built 2 buildings at the fairgrounds. They've done a lot of things. I've had EDP work with Jimmy Scott up at school to put electrical panels in, test, you know, practice panels and so forth. We need to reach out to them as well from the town standpoint. If there's something you want, go to them. I've never been turned down, believe it or not, by any of those guys. I got money for the theater. I got money for the kids' movie night. All I had to do was ask. Jimmy was the same way. I gave him a phone number. I said, call him, ask him. They want to help. They want to be good neighbors. They want to be good stewards of the community. But it would make a difference to Ray Anderson and some of those guys.
But I just think, because we got an area plan meeting Monday night, and we're going to rehash what we tabled 2.5 hours last month. We're gonna start right over again.
Well, you know that
It's just,
at the beginning of January, there were several new members of area plan that were planted in area plan
yes,
simply because they were opposed to everything that had happened in the county prior to that. Everything. And it didn't make any difference what you could tell them. You know,
and it's
Always-
just,
I always love the complaint, oh, we're losing all our farmland. Well, the fact of the matter is, there's more farmland in existence in White County now than there was 5 years ago. There's more production in White County now than there was before. And if you think you're gonna starve to death, then the United States needs to quit throwing away 35% of all the food that's produced in the United States into the landfill. Quit filling damn landfills up with food. Use it, eat it, pass it around. Give it to food pantries and so forth. We're the worst country in the entire world. 35% of everything that's produced food-wise goes in the landfill. So, you know, all those excuses that they give you are made up. Nothing in fact. So
I just like to see.
everybody here needs to spread the word.
Yeah, I just like to see how you people that score things, score changes, show up Friday, because I get so tired of hearing the negative stuff.
You won't get to speak.
Oh, I'm sure of that. Maybe
That's
they'll-
not what it's for.
Oh,
If you see the group that's putting it on,
well,
you
yeah,
know that that's not
I
what
know
it's for.
what it is.
Yeah.
And I knew when I got the email what it was all going to be about. But I thought, are we going to sit back and just do nothing and just let them?
Or
15 people should
Have our
not
own
make,
meeting, huh?
15 people should not make the decision in White County.
Tight. Or in some cases, 650 people on a petition of 24,000. That is the majority. That's the driving force, like you said. Don't let them. Don't let them.
I'm not going to stop that. I'm going to go.
Well, I'm pleased to hear you say that. I'm glad we have somebody representing us on that is in favor of progress and not killing us.
And then, back
Yeah.
to you.
That's all I had.
Just the same thing with Gabrielle, we are meeting with the county commissioners on the 18th at their meeting at 8:30 in the morning. If the council members want to be there, I would appreciate that. Because basically proposing to the county what they might be able to do to help us come up with the gap in the funding that we have right now for the plan. So we have decent work there. So this will be
How much
great.
is the
We're about
18.
About
about 3 million.
Yeah, it's ready.
So, yeah.
counting ready?
8:15 in the morning.
No, not.
It'll be
not-
in the commission.
So if you got the 3 million from ready, you'd be good.
No,
I say that as
yeah,
county.
I think, I'm sorry, we didn't include the ready money.
Oh, you did include it.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, without the ready money.
Well, I'm still fighting that.
Yeah, I know that one's hopefully gonna come through, but that's where we're at right now, so. So, we have that gap, so outside of that, I try to get waste management on, that's all I have.
Okay. Tony?
The only thing I can add is really good news for you.
I actually had Annette retweak some forms that you sent where I can go in and actually edit those, and that will be done Friday. There will be a letter sent that needs boarded up, every open window in there, every weed in there needs to be down. The couch that's sitting out there, I was gonna catch JENILYNNE and I didn't. I don't believe to this point anything's been filed with area plan. The last conversation I had with the owner was she wanted to get away from dealing with the state, dealing local, and was gonna cut it down to 3 apartments. And those 3 apartments would have 5 bedrooms. I said, no, you're going back to a boarding house. And I said, if you're gonna run a boarding house, you have to run it by area plan's rules. You can't just, because I said, I'm not stupid. I know rooms are going for $800 a minute. So, yeah. So that's where we're at on that. As far as I know, there's been nothing sent on that, and it's not got that, it's got. There's also a garage up the alley that they boarded it up last year, but they've not done anything in a year over that, so. Straight up Minneapolis. Yeah. Yeah.
When they-
Complex, yeah. Those are the two major ones. Unless somebody sees anything else. I did give an email to JENILYNNE. I noticed a old garage. I sent a thing over a while back. It had been an apartment put in upstairs. I noticed this week there's an apartment downstairs too, about 6 cars there. So I sent her an email and had a conversation about that. So she,
Jamie, that was on my list. I didn't know. Is there a reason why we didn't have SRO up at the school tonight?
yeah, that's not the schedule.
It was good that I seen Jake stopped up.
We'll have, I'll be out tomorrow morning along with Bob early, since it's the first day of school. And we're on track to go up Highway 16. We're all set. We've revamped some signs over on Middlestadt and Railroad, and I've got locates in to put some other signs. You notice on that street, it's like the speed limit signs are right on top of the crosswalk. So we're going to mark the speed limit signs at each end of the blocks instead of all. It looks like in the past what we've done is here's a post and put 3 or 4 signs on. You know, so we're cleaning that up over there. So yeah. Go to Francisville, watch what you're doing. There's more stop signs up there than used to be.
Anything else, Jamie? No, sir. Ron?
I just wanted to bring back up the trash, future trash. But let's scrutinize that contract a little more, make sure we don't get that trick back again. And the other thing was the baseball diamond thing that keeps coming up on the cross country thing. I think it's real nice to get people into the park and do that, but it becomes an issue every year. And Mark has a lot of real estate up there. Yeah, I've coached cross country up there before. They can make the course at the school, and they have plenty, ample parking. And I don't think they got to park on the football field or anywhere. It just seems to keep coming up. I'm tired of addressing it. School function. That's all I got.
I know they're planning on running it at the town park. So
No, I don't mean this year, Jim.
in the future.
Yeah, I mean down the road. It keeps coming up here every time we turn around and we get into a
There was a pissing match.
yeah,
I know,
Tonight's
I was
meeting.
here.
yeah. It just always is, and
I heard.
it's nice to have the
And
people.
I understand it, that, I mean, we park the grass down there, everybody else does for every other game and everything else that's going on. I think was the issue on the field itself.
The issue's been because on the diamond, and back in the day when that was a Taj Mahal diamond, I'd have fought you tooth and nail to drive on my baseball field, but we don't play, but hopefully that'll come back.
I know that's been a big concern of mine as well. And for Food Fest this year, I had one of the town board people come and want to know why we weren't doing it down at the park anymore. Well, I said, we are doing it at the park, it's just that we're not doing it down at the main park. That's still part of your park. And I said, if you want to move down there, I'm fine with that. You are now in charge. So that ended that conversation very quickly.
Absolutely.
And you know, I don't, maybe next year we end up down there. I don't know what Mona needs to look like because they are.
Believe me, I wasn't there today, but I talked to a gentleman today that was there. And he left to go to work and let his insurance investigator deal with it because he said, I never seen such a Washington Post show in my life. There was 2 attorneys there.
Yeah.
Against Trent.
Leeches.
2 attorneys there, 5 investigators, it's everybody pointing fingers which way to see who's not gonna pay out the most. I mean, I feel sorry for a company that I think has a very good reputation, that's done all the work up there. That seems to be where they're pointing. I think before it's over with, there's probably gonna be a cooler and maybe a couple other pieces, but to go out of there, it's gonna go to some forensic thing to go through, so everybody else can, hey, maybe we can point the finger at these guys and everything apart. So I'm not real sure. I don't expect that cleanup to happen fast. I did talk to, we did have a little, because over the weekend, I'm starting to get text messages. Waste Management didn't pick trash up from Family Express down that alley because we have a concern about that wall on Lawson's thing is kicked a little, so we fenced off the end of the alley. Well, they finally decided, okay, we'll back down the alley. All the trash cans have to be on the east side. I sent our people to empty those people's trash cans this week and put them in the dumpster. But it seems to be resolved. They're going to back in that way, and then that way they can pull out on the road without backing.
I didn't hear, did they end up being able to get the dumpster that they needed to get at the end of the alley? Is that?
I talked to the owner. They said they come and got that.
Oh.
They come and got that dumpster. So
okay.
I don't know what they're going to do. When the others come in off the highway.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I'll reach out with him to make sure that he did look right and stuff picked up.
Okay.
I have not yet talked to Josh and Jennifer in person, but I would, if I don't get to them, and I'm sure everybody on the town board is interested in doing whatever we can to make sure that they come back stronger and better.
Yeah.
I would hope that they have that whole lot when they come back.
Right.
That's my thought.
I can tell you in the conversation, they're wishing to go back. And it's all going to be what this insurance company does here. And people do not realize the amount of business that's went in and out of that place and what an asset that company and that building has been.
Yeah.
I think we estimated probably as full as that place was with hanging meat that had been processed, you're probably looking at 350,000 just a minute.
Well, I know every month, and he doesn't say it, and she doesn't say it. Every month they provide all the pork, ground pork for the food pantry, all of it.
Yeah.
And they could charge us $6-7 a pound, but they give it to us free. We buy our hamburger from them as well.
They've done
They give us a
last
discount.
year or so. I think was it last year or the year before you got a whole pound too. From
Yeah, they have done so much for the food pantry, for this community, at Food Fest. It's them. They provide the electrical for the stage. They do all kinds of things. The ponies, the petting zoo, all of that. That's them that provide all of that for us. They have been so important for our community that we all need to do whatever we can to help them through whatever process they have to go. So, and I know it's probably, you read on Facebook, the idiots on there that make comments, but I've been trying to call them, been ready to do this. Give them a break, really.
Yeah, I know they went to horse thing and Oklahoma for a while.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Just, we need to just let them know that we're supportive in anything that they now just have.
Anybody else have anything?
Make a motion.
I have a motion to adjourn. I have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourn.
Sit that on.
Is that all? Oh, I